Here we go.
Hey everyone. We're gonna let some people trickle in. I see some audio and videos are still connecting. Hi, Sandy. I see Sandy. Just let everyone know, my name is Jennifer and I handle the marketing at ImpressArt. I'm here today with our design director, Rita, who will be teaching the class. Today, we're going to go over how jewelry may not just be feminine or for women, it can be for anyone. And we're gonna go over how to make more of a masculine, maybe dog tag necklace for maybe your son, your grandson, daddy, your maybe grandpa, anyone that you wanna gift for the holiday season. If you guys aren't shy, we would love to see your faces and watch you stamp throughout the class. If you want to turn on that camera and join us, we would love that. Just want to let you know that we do our own Facebook Lives every Tuesday and Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can tune in and watch us go live on our own social media channels under ImpressArt. We actually have a special one tomorrow planned. We want to hop on over to our Facebook page tomorrow at 12:30. You can watch Rita make this wonderful Day of the Dead necklace that she's been working on for the past 2 days with our viewers. So without further ado, I'm going to give it over to Rita just to make sure we do have enough time to teach this class within the hour. So we'll flip it to Rita really quick.
Hi guys. So welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. Like Jen said, we have a Facebook Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have a different schedule this week because I am working on making a Day of the Dead necklace that I have already designed, but we are making it together. Hi, Jennifer. I see Jennifer. I see a lot of names pop up that I'm familiar with. So it'd be great if you wanted to just really learn a little bit more about metal stamping and join us for our Facebook Lives. The more the merrier. We are a very friendly stamping community. Today, we're going to take it back to the basics. You should always repeat your basic classes. So if you were a beginner or you a little bit more advanced because you've taken a lot of these classes before, this is the class that you want to take. We're going to work on lining up your letters, making sure your spacing is correct. We have a bunch of fantastic products at ImpressArt to assist you in making this as painful as possible, as less painful as possible, as long as you don't hit your finger with your hammer. So that won't be a good thing. But I guarantee you by the end of this hour, you will be proficient in getting your letters lined up and you'll be ready to start your stamping journey. So I am going to turn the camera around and give it back to Jen, and I will get set up. All right.
Yes, so while we're getting set up, I just want to let you guys know that I will be handling the chat portion of this class. I'll try to put the URL links to all the products that Rita is using for this project inside the chat room. Feel free that if you have any questions, just type them into the chat room and I'll do the best of my abilities to give you an answer, or Rita will answer it while she's stamping. If for some reason I'm unable to get you an answer, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook under ImpressArt and send us a direct message. And between our customer service team, myself and Rita, we will respond to your questions in a timely manner. Whether that's you want help with like stamping something that Rita talked about with this project, or you want a project suggestion, maybe you're considering doing a project on your own and you just need some little help picking up tools and supplies, we're here for you. And then always tune in to our Facebook Lives. Like Rita said earlier, we're an amazing group of stampers. Our community is so welcoming. They're so creative. They support one another. And I watch them every day, obviously, and I do the chat room on there too for Rita. And I still learn from Rita every single day that I'm on that Facebook Live with her. She's full of knowledge and you're in really good hands being with Rita.
All right, and I think I'm going to give them just a glimpse of that necklace that we're making tomorrow to see if they want to join. So, okay, guys, so this is a metal stamped Day of the Dead necklace. I mean, there's a lot more to this necklace, but you could see we learn all about cutting shapes out, attaching metal to metal. So definitely check us out tomorrow. Come and hang out at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, or you could always watch the replay. And these live on the Facebook page, these Facebook Lives. So you could always go back at a later date and watch them. Okay, but this is the project we're going to be finishing up tomorrow. Now for tonight's project, we're going to be working with border blanks. Let me pull those on my block for you. And let's see. We're going to be working with the 3mm Arcadia font. If you don't have this font, please feel free to use any font that you have. You don't necessarily have to have the font. I'm just plugging my phone in so we don't have any mishaps tonight. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to pull my block over. I'm going to show you the Uppercase. What I like about this Arcadia font is it reminds me of old world type. It's very clean. It's very crisp. It has detail on it, but it's not too much. It's not over the top. It's definitely not whimsical. So it could be used on a piece of jewelry or a keepsake for a man, for a woman. All of our Uppercase come with 6 design stamps and an ampersand. All right. Our lowercase is 3mm as well. Obviously, it's going to be 3mm at its highest point. So your B's, your D's, your G's, your H's, F's, L's, P's, Q's, J's, Y. All right. So the remaining letters are going to be a little bit smaller, obviously, so they follow suit and line up very, very well. With the lowercase fonts, you're going to get your punctuation in there. All right. And then we have our number set. So the number sets go from 0 to 8. The number 9 is by using the 6 just turned upside down. So I will show you later on how to get that impression. All right. What you should know about our stamps is that they are coated. Okay. This set is coated, and that is to prevent rust. All right. Some of you might have the uncoated set, which I'll go through in a couple of minutes. All right. And you'll notice that on your stamp, it says Impress Art, and there is your letter on the tip of that shank. As long as it's face down, okay, and the Impress Art's facing you, you're stamping in the right direction. So all of our sets that I showed you today are all marked. Now, if you're stamping with a set that's uncoated, okay, these have a little bit of oil on them. The oil is a good thing, okay? They're not too oily, but they're a little oily, and that's to prevent the rust on these shanks. I personally prefer the uncoated to the coated, okay? And again, it has the letter on the tip of the shank and the Impress Art. So as long as you're holding it and it's facing you, you're stamping in the right direction. Okay, so here we are with our border blanks. Jen, let me know if there's any questions.
Yep, will do.
All right, because this is an easy project tonight. So these are border blanks, and why we call them border blank is because there is already a border inside your tags, meaning you don't have to stamp any decoration around it. You can use that space around your blank for a design stamp or a texture, but that line is always going to be there, creating a really nice 3-dimensional effect. Okay, it just really brings your design to another level. It makes it, I think, look more regal. So this is the dog tag. All right. And then we have our long rectangle strip blank. And this too has the border around it. All right. Now, these are all very nicely done on the back. If you don't want to use your border, you can definitely turn your blank around and use the plain side. It's really personal preference. You're going to need jump rings for this project. And you could use a ball chain or a curved chain, whatever chain you have handy. All right. What we're going to use today for sticker guides is you could use your book of mixed sticker guides, or you can use your bracelet guides and you could just cut them up. All right. So you could use either, and we're going to use the straightaways. So the first thing I want you to do is I want us to get acquainted with our stamp set. Okay. So I'm going to take just a random mess up blank that I have. I'm just going to put it on my block, and I'm not going to worry so much with getting everything lined up. I'm just going to get my feel for the stamp. So what is the most important thing, I think, is your tools and the way you're positioning your hands. This is the Ergo-Angle hammer. It has a brass head. I strongly suggest using this hammer as opposed to a household hammer. If you've stamped before and you stamped with a steel hammer, you will notice that you get a little bit of an impression. You'll get half of impression on the bottom and a little bit of an impression on the top when you're using steel. The reason why you get a ghost impression, that is what we call it, is because steel on steel bounces. When you're using a brass head hammer, it's nice and soft, the brass, so it absorbs the bounce and leaves you with a really nice, clean and crisp impression. So a brass head hammer is a must. A steel block is another must. Okay. Obviously your blanks, your letter sets, your sticker guides. Now, when you're metal stamping, I always like to pull my stamps out and I make sure that my stamps are on my left side. I'm a righty. So my non-dominant side is where my stamps go. My dominant side is where I place my hammer. When you're picking up a stamp, you want to make sure that it's always in your non-dominant hand. And this, for a beginner is going to be a little bit challenging because we're so used to picking things up with our dominant hand. So what I want you to do now is just pick a stamp, any stamp that you have. I want you to place it, holding it with your non-dominant hand, taking your hammer and giving it a nice hit. All right. And let's see your impressions. All right. If you're getting a half impression and you're using the brass head, I want you to try a tilt and tap. Place your stamp down, and I want you to hit it lightly on the top, then bring it back, forward, side, side. And by hitting it on all four sides of that top of your shank, you're going to get a really nice and even impression. How's everybody doing?
So far, no questions. But if you
No
guys have
questions.
Feel free to ask away.
Angie
said
of course, Angie's doing fine. Angie, did you comb your hair so you could turn your camera on? I saw that comment before.
JT is asking, how hard of a tap do you need to hit the stamp? Okay,
so we're using aluminum. Aluminum is a soft metal. So I want you to hit it moderately. I don't want you to be over aggressively hitting it. You also have to make sure that your block is on a very sturdy surface. If you're working on a table at home, I would suggest moving your block to a corner where the leg is underneath your table for more stability. So definitely place your stamp down, put some pressure on it like it's a rubber stamp and you're pressing it into the metal. Take your hammer, one firm tap. Okay. Then I want you to take your stamp and I want you to give it a really light tap. Okay. And then I want you to pull your blank up and take a look at the difference in your impressions. When you're forceful with your stamp, you forge into metal more. So your letter is going to spread out. If you have a light touch, okay, and you'll only learn by doing with this, okay, you want to make sure, it's really personal preference. Jen likes it really light, to stamp light. I like to really get in there with force, right, Jen?
Yes.
So, you know, everyone has personal preference, but while you're learning your tools, you will learn how hard to hit your stamp. So I just want you right now, don't worry about lining anything up. I just want you to spend a couple of minutes and just get acquainted with hitting the top of your stamp with that hammer, having your stamp in your non-dominant hand and your hammer in your dominant hand, and just really get comfortable with your piece, all right, with your tools. So I have a whole lot of A's, all right? Once you feel that you're comfortable, we're gonna start our project. Pull out my enamel marker, all right? Okay, so we're gonna start with our dog tag. And I'm going to pull out my long sticker. Now, for those who don't have the long ones and you have the short ones, you could just rip it in half, all right? There is no wrong sticker as long as it's a straight sticker. So this sticker works as a guide. It's gonna help you line up all of your letters. And we're going to learn a little trick today that I like to teach. Okay, so I'm gonna just pull this back. We're gonna do a couple of lines on this. So I'm gonna show you how I do that. So I'm gonna come in and I'm going to place my sticker guide on the side of my blank. All right. And if you could see, the line of that metal is gonna meet that orange hash mark, okay? Then I'm gonna come in with another sticker or half of the longer sticker. And I'm gonna start, by lining up an orange right underneath my black line. So it's gonna look like that. You have your black little hash mark, your orange line, and then you have your other hash marks. I am going to start with Daddy. I'm going to use my uppercase and my lowercase. So here is my uppercase, my lowercase. And now I'm using the lines, the space inside my hash marks. And that's how I'm going to line up all of my stamps. Okay. I'm going to pull out my uppercase D. And with your Sharpie, definitely mark the center of your stamp. Do you see that? There's my D, here's my center, and I'm just marking it. By marking the tips of your stamps, it makes it easier for you to line it up, okay, in the center of that hash mark. So I'm gonna take my stamp in my non-dominant hand. I'm gonna place it. Let me see if I can get this down a little bit more. There we go. I'm gonna place this flat, and I'm gonna lightly drag it. Okay. And I'm going to feel that restriction in that sticker. All right. So if you run your finger over, you're going to see that it creates a ledge because the sticker is so thick. Place it down flat, lightly drag it. When you feel that stamp hit that sticker guide, you don't want to go over it. So lightly drag it. Once you feel that sticker, press down on your stamp, take your hammer, give it a nice hit. And there is your first impression. Okay. Then I'm going to move on to my lowercase. Place that down, lightly drag it, line that up, same thing. You feel free to mark the center of your shank. make sure that your letter is in the same area as the corresponding letter on your sticker. Feel that restriction. Once you feel that restriction, give it a tap, and there is your A. Same thing with your D. And take your time with it. It's definitely not a race. So I have my 2 Ds, and now I'm going to start with my Y. So my Y is descending, okay? So with descending letters, which is your Y, your G, your P, your Q, your J, you're going to do, and your G, you're going to do something a little bit different. So instead of pulling it down, let me mark my center here. Instead of pulling your sticker down, excuse me, down, you're going to place it. And you're going to make sure that the round curvature right here, the bottom curve of your stamp, is placed on top of the sticker and lines up with that blue line that runs right through your sticker guide. You're going to place it down, making sure that the center of your stamp is lined up with that sticker guide, okay? And you're going to give it a nice tap. And that is going to be, that's going to make sure that your Y is hanging right where it should be, okay? Now I'm going to pull my sticker off. All right. And you see that I have my daddy here, and that's all nice and neat. It's all lined up correctly. All right. And I'm going to continue. If you didn't stamp over your sticker, the way I did with my descender, you could definitely reuse it if you'd like. If you wrote on your sticker, you can move your sticker over to a part where you did not write on it. So now I'm going to come in. We used the black line, that black hash line with our sticker. So we're going to stick to our black hash lines. I'm going to come in. I am going to line up my sticker right underneath that black hash mark. And you're going to see that my orange line here, right here, falls right in the middle, right in the center of my blank. All right. So I'm going to come in with my E, my S, and my T. And I'm going to start with that. I'm going to bring that down. Line that up. Give it a hit.
Rita, as people are stamping and figuring out what they want to stamp, can you talk about how tips on how to like lay out your stamps on your workspace, or maybe clean up your stamps as you work, or should you mix them on your table and then worry about them at the very end?
So I am a very messy stamper. I put things back where they don't belong. I leave stamps all over the place. You should have some kind of order on your block when you're stamping so you don't pick up the wrong letter or number. So what I like to do is I like to pull out my stamps. Okay. I like to pull out my stamps, and I like to have them facing the ceiling. See that impress art on the shank? I like it to facing upward. Okay. And I keep it on the side of my bench where my non-dominant hand is. So it's easier for me to pick up and line up. All right. Or you could just pick through your font set. With these, they are all labeled as to what they are on your case. So it's easy to do that too. But for a beginner, I would definitely pull my stamps out and have them available on my non-dominant side.
Awesome. Good tip.
All right. So I'm going to pull off my sticker guide again. And I'm going to continue, go right underneath, lining it up with my black and my orange. I'm going to come in and I am going to use my spaces for my numbers. Center them. I don't know why I didn't mark these, Jen. I should have marked these a while ago.
It might be a new set, maybe.
Yeah, I think it is a new set. Weird.
I've been using them for a couple of Arcadia a couple of weeks now.
I know. So again, with my numbers, I'm going to take them and drop it. And I don't know if you could see, guys. Do you see how I'm going literally my black marker line, my center line is meeting up with the corresponding number on my sticker.
Yes.
I see that, Ange.
Thank you, Angie.
So I'm lining up all of my numbers, and then I will show you. Now, just on the side block, I'm just going to turn it around for a second. We talked about the numbers. We talked about how your 9 doubles, your 6 doubles as your 9, okay? So here is your 6. So what you want to do is you definitely want to, when you get your set, you want to turn it around and mark it with a 9, all right? So you know that you're not going to do a 6. So for your 6, obviously you're going to follow the Impress Art logo on it with that 6 there. You're going to hold it, hit it, there's your 6. Then you want to turn it around, and definitely with a Sharpie marker, you definitely want to mark your 9. All right. So that doubles, your 6 doubles as your 9.
Mhm.
All right, so that's that little trick. But definitely mark your shank. Jen, how are we doing on time?
Good. We have about, I can't do math, 35 minutes.
Okay.
Guys, any questions, just let us know.
Any questions?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pull off.
Even if you guys want to tell us what you're stamping, that will be fun.
What?
I just want to know what they're stamping.
I know. And they're so quiet tonight. Guys, don't be quiet. Let us know. Let us know what you're stamping for. So you're basically nice and lined up. Okay. You have perfect spacing. All right. And it's okay not to get this on the first time. Now, we talked about the border of these. You could leave them plain, or you can choose to jazz them up a little bit. Remember that in your uppercase, you have design stamps. So if you want to come in with that little arrow, you definitely can. And I'm going to show you a tiny trick. You're going to take one of your sticker guides. Okay. And you are going to put it right on that border line that runs across. Does everybody see that? All right. And then you could tape that to your block. And what you could do is bring flat, lightly drag it until it catches that sticker. And just go around your border with your arrows.
We do have a question from Sprice.
Okay.
They're wondering, how do you know how to center the word on your blank? So you can like line it up with the hole on the blank.
So you can hold. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just pull that off. So you can see that you have your little arrows going around your border right here if you use your sticker. So I'm going to just take a new blank out. All of your stickers, guys, have a center mark. All right. So what you want to do is you want to come down, and the best thing about these stickers is that they could be removed. Okay. So you could design anywhere you want. So I would really center it. Let's pull this down a little bit. There we go. I would use my orange hash mark in the center and lightly drag my sticker, keeping it lined up with the center of that hole, down my guide. Now you could see you have that center line, that center orange line, and you're in between two of those black hash marks are right on that border. So you are smack in the center of this. So that's how you could even mark your center with your marker if you feel.
Yeah. Could you measure with like a ruler and a marker? And
You could measure with a ruler.
Mhm.
All right, you could do that too. All right. And, do your design, but definitely use the spaces in between or your hash marks, depending on how close you want your letters together, okay, to design your piece. When you're working with these sticker guides, okay, and these small blanks, you definitely want to utilize the space in between each blank. And this is what I mean. I will show you the difference, okay? When you have more room and you want to spread out your word, I would use every black or the orange, depending on how you want to design it. When you're working with a small blank like we are today, you definitely want to utilize your space in between your hash marks. So I will demonstrate real quick. All right, so our word is nice and tightly together. If we have more room, and let's say we're doing a bracelet or you have a bigger blank in general, using your black hash marks or your orange, you'll be able to space out your word a little bit more. So these stickers work both ways. So if you're doing a bracelet and you really want to spread those letters out, you could definitely use it either way. All right. So we're going to come around. We're going to use that trick on the other side too, and just use that space in our border. And we're going to come back in. And just fill that space up a little bit. Just jazz it up a little bit. All right. We're going to come in with our enamel marker. So this enamel marker is a water-based enamel marker, and it was formulated to sit inside of your impressions once you stamp them. Okay. So we are going to take our enamel marker, run it right over all of our stamped impressions and our border blank around our disc. Okay, we're going to make sure that your impressions are covered fully. Okay, then you're going to take a household paper towel, dry, nothing on it. Okay, and you're just going to lightly dab it and then lightly wipe.
Does the enamel marker dry differently depending on the climate or the location that you're in?
It does actually. So that's why dabbing it and then lightly wiping it is important. Okay. And you could always go back in and fill any impression that you might have rubbed the enamel out of. So keep in mind that with this enamel, in order for it to stay in the impression, your impression needs to be deep. Okay, because if it's not deep and it's too shallow, the enamel has nowhere to sit and cure. All right, so your impressions have to be deep. There we go. Yep, I'll show marker one more time. I'll come in here. You're going to take your enamel and cover all of your impressions.
Kat is wondering what the difference is between using our enamel marker versus using a Sharpie marker.
Okay, so like I said before, this enamel it's a water-based enamel and it will come off your fingers. With that being said, a Sharpie is not going to come off your fingers. And also, this is formulated to stay inside of your impression. Your Sharpie, we live in a day of antibacterial. Unfortunately, we antibacterial everything. We're constantly washing our hands, proper hygiene. So any alcohol-based product will pull the Sharpie marker right out of your impression, as opposed to the stamp enamel that will sit inside of the impression and not come out. Lightly dab. And then a wipe, lightly wipe. All right. So that enamel really makes it pop off the metal. And we have it in different colors that's available at Michael's. So once we're done with our project, we could definitely revisit the other colors on here so I could show you guys. So now that we finished that, we're going to come in with our long blank, and I'm going to fill it up with a name, okay, a full name. And again, I'm going to come in with two sticker guides. All right, I'm going to place it right here. See, and then you could see that it's laying right underneath those hash marks, okay? Then I'm going to take my sticker guide. But before I do that, I'm going to write my name. And what I'm going to do with the name is I'm going to spread it out, okay? So I'm going to I'm actually going to put a heart design stamp right at that hash mark. And I am going to come in with the name and then another heart.
Hey, Rita.
Yes.
Is there an easy way to plan out your words to find out the middle? Like, do I need to count on my fingers? Should I write it on a scrap piece of paper? Should I just guess and hope for the best?
Definitely write it on a scrap piece of paper. Definitely. Because what I like to do to find my center is, let's say I'm just going to use my daughter's name, Sammy. Okay. So I know I have 4 letters and I know my center line's here. So I know that I'm going in between my hash marks. Okay. If you have, here's my middle line. Let's say I have, 6 is still the same. Let's say 7.
Jenna,
okay.
Jenna.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on. I even have to write it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jackie.
Are
What?
you looking for a name with 5 letters?
Yeah.
Jenna, Jenna.
Oh, why did I think? There you go. So I'm going to do on my hash marks JENNA. Okay. As opposed to using the spaces in between. All right. So I'm going to start with my heart. I'm going to make sure that my orange line, now I'm stamping on my black. So I'm going to use that orange line to put my sticker guide down. Okay. I'm going to bring my stamp down. There's my heart. Line up my orange. Come in with my uppercase. Pull that away. Here's my A.
So Fiona is asking if you're able to flip the blank over and maybe write something on the back, a secret message maybe to the person that you're giving the necklace to.
You definitely could. Here is the eye. Then I'm going to come right back in with my heart. Pull both sticker guides off. Fill in my impressions and my border. Gonna dab it. And then I'm going to lightly wipe. And there is my name. All right. Jen, should we go over enamel? You want different enamel markers before we put it together?
Before we do that, can you do JT a favor?
Sure.
They asked if you can show them how to stamp on a curve.
Okay.
So is it possible just on a blank, like a scrap blank, just use a circle guide?
Okay. You want me to use a circle guide? How about I do, how much time do we have?
We have like 18 minutes.
Okay, so I could show them without the guide and with the guide. How's that?
Perfect.
Good? Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to pull out love. All right. I'm going to pull out my stamps. Now, see if I could go down a little bit more. Okay. So the way to do it without your sticker guide, I'm just going to, I don't know where my tape is, so I'm going to just.
Yeah, you guys can use any tape. You can use painter's tape, masking tape.
The only thing I wouldn't use is Scotch tape. I would definitely use masking tape, blue tape. Scotch tape is definitely not something that you want to use on metal. All right. Yeah. So what I'm going to do without using a guide, I'm going to show you both ways, is I'm going to make sure that the curvature at the bottom of my stamp is meeting the curvature of the bottom of my blank. So I'm going to take it down. Okay. Does everybody see that? Do you see how I'm flush with my blank? And I'm basically using the curvature of my blank as a guide. Again, bring it down, making sure that I'm flush with the curvature of my blank, giving it a hit. And then feel free to turn your block, guys. You don't always have to turn your hands in your stamp. Definitely turn your block, especially when you are stamping on a curve. Again, I'm placing it down. I'm making sure that I am squared up with the curvature of my blank. Nice tap. Same thing here, my E. And there you have stamping on a curve without your sticker guide. All right, let's fill that in so we could see that better.
And that just makes it like uniquely yours. It's something different than stamping in a straight line.
Yes.
So.
All right. Dab it, lightly wipe. And of course I wait. I did wait enough, long enough. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. There we go. So there is your love around your blank. Okay. Now with our sticker guides, let me pull one of those out. Just bear with me for a few. Okay. So in your sticker guide book, you have different sizes. I'm going to go with the medium. Okay. And let's do a circle blank. Let me grab one of those. I'm going to go with a big disc. That's all I have handy right now. All right. So you're going to come in. You could find your center if you'd like. I don't want to use that. Hold on one second. Let me pull that out. Here we go. All right. So here is a 1-inch circle around. And what you want to do is see that orange line at the top? You want to line that up with the center, the top of that hole. Okay. So see where your hole is?
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that your orange line is going right through it. All right. And you're going to write on your sticker. Okay. Here's my L. Here's my O. Here's my B. Here's my E. All right. So as opposed to dragging your sticker down, what we're going to do with this is we're going to drag our sticker up. So you're going to, and let's do this from the side. You're going to place your stamp down, lightly drag it up and line it up with the corresponding letter on your sticker guide.
Mm-hmm.
And when you drag it up, you're going to feel that restriction. When you feel that restriction in that tape, press down, give it a tap. And there is your L. Okay. Place it down, lightly drag that up, give it a tap. There is your O. Same thing. You always want to make sure that the impressor is facing you. Turn your blank, your block, lightly drag up your V, Give it a tap. Same thing with your E. And there you go. So you have both ways now. You could use your stamps and use the edge of your blank to, you know, stamp on your curve, or you can use these sticker guides. You are very welcome. And let's color that in.
And as you're enameling, Chris asked a question. Do you need to use anything else, like a sealer maybe, if you don't want to use a black marker?
Sealer.
Would you seal your metal?
I don't seal my metal. So this is the reason why I don't seal my metal. Everything that Impress Art sells, okay, for the most part, are raw blanks. So you're getting aluminum straight through. All right. Your aluminum is not going to tarnish. It's not going to turn you green. It's not going to discolor. It always remains that really pretty silver shine. Your brass and your copper blanks, if they're not plated, okay, are raw metals. So you could always polish them back up using the polishing blocks. If you seal your brass and your copper, it eventually will start to crack. And then you can't polish it up because you'll have sealant on some parts of it and not on the other, and you really can't wear it anymore. So instead of sealing jewelry, I just like to have a polishing block, and I'll show you that in a quick second. All right. This polishing block, mine is like from today's Facebook Live, is a disaster, but it's a white block. Obviously, I use mine a lot. You could see that there's a lot of metal dust on it. You're going to just take your block, your buffing block, and run it over. And you could see that that really shines it right up. Okay, so you don't have to seal. I don't ever like to seal raw metals because then I can't polish it back up. So this is actually, let me see, do I have a bracelet on? I do have a bracelet on. So here is a brass bracelet blank from Impress Art. Okay, so I'm going to take, and it is tarnished. It turns a little bit bronze after a while that you've been wearing it. I've been wearing this for basically 2 months. So I'm going to polish this side up and you'll see the difference in the metals. Okay. Do you see how that is dull and that is shiny? See the difference in luster? If you put a sealant on it, it'll crack and then you won't be able to polish it back up again. So I really like not having a sealant on my brass and copper. I hope that answers the question. All right, so jump rings. Jump rings, jump rings, jump rings. You always, when you're putting your jump rings on your piece, you always want to make sure that you have 2 chain nose pliers. You could use 1 bent nose and 1 chain nose. You could use 2 chain nose, but make sure that you always have 2 pliers. All right, and then I'm going to take 2 jump rings. And you want to make sure when you're, when you're opening your jump rings, they're escaping from me today. When you're opening your jump rings, your opening, that little slit in your jump ring is always facing upward. You're going to take both pliers and you're going to laterally twist it open. You never want to pull your jump rings open because then you compromise the metal in the center. So twisting is definitely the way you want to open these. You're going to place your charm on one. I know I had a chain. And I like to, and maybe it's just out of pure laziness, but I like to put them on my chain right away. So I place my chain right inside that jump ring, take my other plier, and then twist it closed. You will hear a click. You might not hear it, but you will definitely hear a click in that jump ring. Same thing, oops, as I drop it. Same thing with the second jump ring. You're gonna pull that apart. Put your blank on your jump ring. Take your chain, put it right through. Take that jump ring and close it again. And there, my friends, is your necklace. All right. We could even hang that on it if you'd like. Any questions? And I know I said we have a little bit of time and not enough time to go through the enamel to actually show you what it looks like, but I will show you the additional colors we have on of enamel. I know my blue green is here somewhere. All right, and my gold. So I don't have my gold with me. I think I left it in the office, but it comes in a chocolate sienna brown, okay, which looks really nice on your brass and your copper. Then we have it in a silver metal flake, which looks beautiful on your copper and your gold. And then we have your patina, rustic patina blue, which I like to call. It looks green. It's labeled as green, but it looks like that rusty green blue color. Okay. And then it comes in a gold metal flake, which I don't have handy. So, all right. So these are definitely available at Michael's as well. And Jen, I think this is our favorite part.
This is our favorite part. If people want to join, this is Rita and I's favorite part since we've been doing it since the summer. We love seeing what everyone stamped. If you guys are not shy, we would love for you to turn on your camera so we can see your finished pieces. If anyone's willing to share.
Okay.
I don't know, these are a shy group today.
I know. I see you, Jen.
Probably.
Well,
but if
thank
you
you,
guys
Karen,
don't,
for joining.
yeah, if you don't want to share, definitely tag us. If you want to like DM us on social media, we love to see what you guys create in these Michael's classes. Oh, you guys. People on the computer. Our Facebook group, you can find Impress Art on Facebook. So type in Impress Art on Facebook. We have an orange IA as our logo.
Perfect. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. We really appreciate you guys joining. It's a humbling thing when you all come on. And the next class is not next Thursday, but the following, and that is going to be a wall hanging. This is a fantastic, fantastic class. It's definitely geared on texture and putting metal blanks together. You could throw some yarn in there. So it's definitely more of a mixed media stamping class. And I'm super excited about this because this is one of my favorite projects. So definitely check us out on Facebook and join us for our Facebook Lives and also sign up for that class. We'd love to spend some more time with you guys.